All right, continuing with our tutorial. Okay, so let's just open up. Let's open up our files. Okay, so this is what we have from last time. Okay, so up to now, what we have is, let me just open. Okay, all right. So last time we were able to create our chat box where we can type a question or whatever. But of course, we haven't put any functions or anything. So in this tutorial, what we're going to be doing is we will now create our chat box, where we were gonna type, and then we're gonna get the response from our chatbot. All right, so without any delay, let's just get into it. I don't want to make this tutorial very long. Yes, so in this case, we will be calling up our function from our MD icon button. But let's go on and create our function. So we can just maybe call it asking, because we're going to be asking a question. Yeah, and we're going to be getting our question from the text field here. Okay, so we can say self text field. Okay, yes, so let's see if we can be able to print out whatever we type on our text field. So we can say self question, self root IDS. In this case, it should be in the text field, text, and then we can say print self question. Okay, and then let's call the function from here. So on release app asking text field. Okay, I think everything is okay. Save this. Let's run and see what we have. Okay, let's run. Okay, so now we are typing a question in our text field. Hello, how are you? Okay, so when we press the icon button, so on release, it prints out the question. All right, but what we want to do is, we don't want it to print the question, but we rather want it to display the question here. Okay, yeah, similar to on WhatsApp or Telegram, when you send a message, then it shows on your chat box here. All right, so let's go on and create something similar. Okay, so in order to do that, we're gonna need I think 3 things. So the first thing we're gonna need is our layout. So KivyMD, and then we can say maybe let's use a box layout. Import MD box layout. All right, we also maybe can also use a label. MD label, import MD label. Okay. What we'll also need is we'll also need our metrics. Import DPSP. Okay. All right. So now that we have our imports ready, what we can do now is that whenever a question is typed, when we press our icon button, we want a question to pop up. So we're gonna say if self question. Okay, so if there's a question, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create first of all our layout. So we can just say self. What can we call it? Maybe we can say chat bot box layout. Okay, MD box layout. Okay, so the box layout, we can just give it some we can give it sort of like some an ID perhaps, so that we can be able to access it later on. And what can we call it? We can say chatbot input box. Yeah, let's just call it that for now. Don't mind the sound, that's my notification. All right, let's give it an orientation. I think horizontal is good. Horizontal. Empty color. Let's give it dark green. Spacing 20 should be okay. Okay, size hint. I want to make it none, so that we can be able to specify our own size. Okay, size. Okay, let's just make it none. So, okay, and then so this is now very, very important. So the width of our chat bot layout, we want to make sure that its size is dependent sort of on the text, so if you put more text, then you want to make sure that the width increases and everything. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to self width self dot root IDS box layout. With, did I just say width? Okay, so the width here, we can say, yeah, okay. So with our width, of course, it won't really change that much, because usually your width is always the same. Yeah, we'll usually just keep it more or less the same. However, what we will need to change is in particularly the height, which is what we'll adjust according to the text. Yeah, so let's go on and now create our MD label. So we can just say, you can just call this chat input MD label. Okay, let's also give it an ID. What can we call it? Okay, another notification I'm getting. Okay, let's just call it, yeah, let's just call it chat. Yeah. Okay, and then what will the text be? So the text here will be the self dot question. Yeah, it will be the self dot question. Maybe let's also have text color. Since we're using dark green, it will be good maybe to use white. Okay. Oh, I think this will give me an error, so I need to make sure that I make the theme text color custom. Yeah. Okay, and then another thing to consider is how we want our text to be aligned. So in my case, I like to v-align. It's up to you how you want to have it, but for me I prefer to have it at the top, and then h-align, justify. Okay, and then the position, very important. You can just say center X, then center Y. Okay, all right, so we have our box layout, and then we also have our label. Yes. So now what we want to do is we want to now add those widgets together. So we have our chat with this one here. So chat bot box layout, add widget. In this case, we're adding the chat input. Okay, and then we want to take those combined widgets now, and then we're going to add them to our root IDS box layout, or it should be IDS. In case you don't know which layout this is this layout here. Okay, yeah, it's this layout here, and also this layout we already put it in our scroll view, basically. All right. Yes, so let's go on and add widget, and then we're adding this one here. Okay, let's go on and run this and see what we have. Okay, looks like I made a error here. I forgot to put, okay, everything else is okay. Okay, let's go on and run that. Okay, So now what we do is we can type a question like hello there, which is not a question. Okay, looks like, oh yeah, there's a typing error here. Chatbot. Okay, chatbot. Yeah, should. Okay, and yeah. Okay, I think it should be okay now. I hope. Let's see. Okay, let's hello. Okay, as you can see, whenever we type a question now, it appears here. So we can, how are you? How are you? You can put how are you, and then as you can see, it appears there. All right, so we can put the questions there. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, as you can also see, it's in our scroll view, so which means you can always scroll down if you have your conversation. So in the next tutorial, what we will be doing is we will be now starting to focus more now on our AI speaking back to us. Yes, and maybe we can also fix a few things here, like what I can already see here is that the padding is a bit off. So you can add, for example, padding. Maybe let's just do 10. Okay, so I believe that this is the left, so pad it a bit towards the right by 10. At the top, we want it to still stay at the top. And then on the right side, we can also have it 20. Yeah, and then at the bottom, we can just have it 0. Yeah, I think this should be okay. Yeah, let's try it out. Okay, let's try it out and see. Yeah, it's a bit better. It's a bit better here. Yeah, anyway, that is it for this tutorial. Yes, I did do it a bit in a rush, so if there was something that was not very clear, please do let me know. Yeah, and we'll continue with the next tutorial next time. Please remember to comment. I'll definitely get back to you. I know it might take a while, as there's currently a lot of projects I'm working on. Yes, stay safe.